Headspace, yet another episode, yet another conversation. You're talking to your brother from the ancient mother, Guvij. I'm a little faded, but we're gonna be all right. Right? It's been a good day. And since it's a good day, I think one of the things that are important to outline is the fact that I am with artist, activist extraordinaire. This is a woman who, we're talking GQ, we're talking PE, has been involved in so many different movements. She's been involved in, whether you're talking about the 469 stage, we're talking about ciphers, battles, as an events coordinator, as somebody who's in the marketing space, as somebody who's helping build an artist understand the bridge between business and art, and how your art can be lucrative. If you want to hit somebody up, you gotta talk to the first lady, the goddess, DJ Master, somebody who's doing the rounds right now. She's gonna tell you all about the handles and the dondons. But I'm here to say, Liya M. Liya, what's happening?
What up? Because the last time I was here, handles. So we are starting with them today.
To the people. I don't know.
So what up, Liya Bonam Bombane goes by Liya M. So I'm very simple. Throughout all my social platforms, whether we're talking Facebook page, whether we're talking TikTok, whether we're talking Twitter, whether we're talking Instagram, it's Liya M _SA.
Right.
LIYA_SA. That's it. We're done. You see?
You got it. Yeah,
like you're trying to say like boo, no, it goes like boo boo boo.
Oh, boo.
That's terrible.
Listen.
No one cares. Like he always thinks that we care about what he thinks. Yeah.
I'm always an echo when you hear.
No, like no one cares when I'm around.
Listen, here's what it is, Liya. We are talking about something that I think is the most important conversation in the hip-hop realm. We live in a world that has, through culture, through evolution, through politics, been governed by people with penises.
Sausages.
Men, and as a result, the whole world feels like a sausage party.
It's a penis fiesta.
Penicism, it's strong. God damn, this is gonna be a great episode. So, because of this whole global philosophical sausage party, we live in a world that really radically undermines the role of women.
Yes. And I'm happy that you didn't say females. I was going to slap the shit out of you. Women.
I'm going to be politically correct and say women.
Yes.
Yeah. So as a result, we live in a world that is really on a political and cultural level primarily governed by men. Hip-hop is no different. I came through hip-hop really through the stories, the narratives, and the ideas of men. Hip-hop is famously known for painting women in a certain light. Bitch, hoe, trick, slut, you know what I mean? Damn piece. The most complimentary thing that rappers say about women is fat ass. So this is what you hear. A lot of the times, the feminine body, the female image, the female archetype is only depicted as something that men use to desire and to aspire to control. So, and y'all can't argue with that because you know your favorite rapper's lines.
And they know.
You can quote them verbatim. But this is a conversation that is kind of beyond the realm of gender. It's about reconciling the fact that we're all born of mothers. And we're all born of mothers as a result of a relationship they have with our fathers. So in order for us to understand how we balance ourselves, how we balance the culture, how we balance hip-hop, we have to understand how women factor into the dynamic. And I'm here to say something. I really think that women make better rappers.
I'm about to enjoy that.
Like, I'm not even trying to say female rappers. I feel that's in itself is a misnomer. these are rappers. If you rap, you rap. Whatever you identify as is your personal political identity. Rappers are people who are there to give the narrative musically, culturally, stylistically. And I really think that women make better rappers. So I'm here to tell y'all, with Liya M, this conversation is about that. So let's start from a natural beginning. I want to go into the fact that we talk about how hip-hop was started by the DJ Kool Herc through his block parties. But number one, a lot of people don't know that the first parties that Kool hosted were actually his sister's parties.
She curated the shit.
Cindy Campbell was the one who actually organized and made these parties happen. Hip-hop was born through the brainchild of a woman. The first time people gathered out in that block, it was because a woman had the idea. And I'm not here trying to make a political statement. I'm here just trying to reflect the fact that we often turn the story of hip-hop into a story of men and other men and other men and other men. And yet,
on and on.
through the origins of hip-hop, through Cindy Campbell, do your research, Google it, check it out. It's undeniable, unfucking debatable that hip-hop began through a woman's parties who pulled her brother in. And the skill that her brother had was able to center, start a culture, but the fact still remains, women have had this ability to know how to bring people together and reconcile our differences and come together in the name of empowering ourselves. So, ngegama le power, ngegama le empowerment, I want to know what you,
guys.
I want to know what you, Liya M, really think about the state of hip-hop and how hip-hop has really been evolving when it comes to women.
Okay, he said a lot.
Yeah,
So the first thing that I want to say is Malibongwe igama lamakosikazi. No guys, I'm joking. So I consider he's being all political, and shit. So firstly, I love that he said it was horrible, but I wanted to say the moment you said hip-hop was born through
women.
Yes.
Right.
The party that you were.
Yeah. Cindy Campbell. On your ass.
But that one that we don't care about his opinions. He
Listen,
said
blow the horns however
anyway,
you want.
Blowing the horns. Please blow the horns on edits.
Still terrible.
So listen, you know what? Whenever we discuss any discipline, basically any art form discipline that we talk about, I always shy away from discussing the gender politics, right? Because to me, it's like the discipline is the discipline. Whether you are a male or you are a female, we're judging you based on what it is that you can offer. Do you understand what I'm saying? On that specific discipline. Now, if you speak DJs, we know that a DJ is expected to have A, B, C, and D. If we speak hip hop or we speak rapper, we know a rapper, we judge lyricism, we judge, in delivery, we judge on flow, we judge on wordplay, we judge on all of that. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, that's how we are looking at you.
Scale.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I don't want us to deviate from the topic at hand of saying, he stated something very huge here and he said, I'm saying that women make better rappers.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I was called for this episode, I was called to discuss why do women make better rappers, right? And I like that in that question, there was no why do women make better rappers than male.
Yes.
It was why do women make better rappers, full stop.
Yeah, not than males. Okay, cool.
No, not than males.
Yeah, males are not in the conversation.
We're not discussing men here.
Yeah.
But why do women make better rappers? So he said women are what? Better rappers. So I'm giving you a chance.
Women are better rappers.
You still, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't want to get into the thing of us discussing gender politics, but I think maybe if we go into the history, like the first one that you just spoke of now, Campbell, say that the first parties to come up that celebrated the culture of hip-hop, or that created, or that seeked to create a culture around hip-hop, right? Which is something with the previous episode that was being discussed about how do we need to find people that are able to articulate or decipher what the culture is outside of it just being music, right? And we can't steal that away from women. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where all Lisa come through. Do you understand? And even if when we go back now, we say we're going to discuss women, we're going to go back to the Zulu Nation, because the first female that we could see with the group came from the Zulu Nation.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The Zulu Queen was the first female that stood with the group. And and she did some bars. Do you understand? She did it in her own finesse that comes with a woman, and that's another fortunate thing with being feminine. And which is something that I find that women try to shy away from being feminine, because we are taught that if you are in a space of men, male-dominated spaces, because rap, and we can't run away from that, rap is male-dominated.
Yes.
So we say that you need to sound a certain way, you need to be a certain way, you need to dress a certain way, and oftentimes the
like
way
a tomboy.
Thank you. You need to be a tomboy.
Yeah.
And if you are not a tomboy, oftentimes we're going to find that they're going to create an image for you. And that's what they did with Lil Kim. They create an image of you that you're going to show yourself. They did the same thing with Nicki Minaj. They did the same thing with Cardi B also. So the list is endless. Do you understand? They did the same thing with Diamond. The list is endless. The entire Atlanta, in fact, era of women who are rappers, they're all in the space of sex sells.
Right.
Do you understand? And then we find only a couple that are like MC Light, that are like Rhapsody, that that are saying me, I'm here. Do you understand? Jane Grey, that are saying me, I'm here to rap.
Yeah.
And and I think Rhapsody said it very well on her last album, the one with Eve.
Yeah.
Where there she even went, she's like, I'm not going to discuss gender politics here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give homage to 12 women who have made 12 black women in history of being a black, do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Black South African, not black South African, but
African.
black African in the entire diaspora, that you recognize those 12 women, that they have played their part. But if you listen clearly to Rhapsody throughout the whole album, all she's saying is that, bitches, I spit. Whether you're a man or you're a nigga, I spit. And this is me just to finesse. I feel like that album is her finessing.
I
rap, I do poetry, and I'm dope at it. And I'm a fucking lyricist.
Right.
Do you understand? So, and I think that's how I want, and I'm sorry to come to your platform and try and dictate how the conversation should go.
Oh no, this is not.
But I feel like the conversation would be much more profound if we were to actually focus on what it is that the role that women actually played, in the hip hop, and what it is that makes them, better rappers.
Yeah.
Focusing on the dynamics of gender. Do you understand the gender politics of women and females? And we're gonna get into the gender politics because they do play a role. Patriarchy is everywhere, and I love that you highlighted that.
Right.
Doesn't matter what aspect, whether we go to business, whether we go to art, whether we go to music, whether we go to whatever that we go to, hospitality, there is always, whether we go to culture, whether we go to home in the society, whether we go to the church. It's the same thing. Patriarchy is the fundamental thing that runs our society. That's why we have a sausage fest everywhere.
Right.
It's like that. It's like a dick of men. Like League of Dicks. That's what I normally called it when I used to do politics.
Yeah.
It's like a League of Dicks.
A dickocracy.
Do you understand? Keep on coming up with those names.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, guys. Let's just focus. If we are saying we're given a chance to speak about women, let us be granted that platform.
Right.
And let's speak women.
I want to say something real quick.
Yes.
I think women are better rappers, number one, because men, masculinity, ubudota, gyanism, has this tendency of being fundamentally about competing.
Yes.
Men compete with each other, with the world, because we are raised in this fundamental impulse that being a man is about amassing resources. That's why you feel demasculated when you have nothing. You feel more of a man when you have something to give, whether it's money, knowledge, whatever kind of resource. Masculinities globally have this in common. Men find their pride through control.
Yes.
And with this control kind of determines how we live and navigate out in the world. We feel we are men because we are able to have something that we can give, and this thing, these assets, we are able to leverage
and that's why
people around us. So I feel women are better rappers because hip hop is inundated, igcwele, with this whole idea of control. Hip hop is an empowerment fantasy. It's a music that tells you you are the best and you are the shit. But a lot of that has been done through a male mentality. So as a result, growing up, I can personally say, and talk to us in the comment section if you disagree with me, but hip hop in its real majority talks about, I need to get this, I need to get that,
so that I can live the
I must get this,
so
because when I get things,
this.
then I will be powerful.
Yes.
So it's about acquiring wealth, power.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I heard the phrase MOB, hip hop, money over bitches. So rappers have valued power over everything else. Male
rappers.
Thank you. And as a result, I feel like, number one, when I first listened to MCs like Queen Latifah, MC like my favorite Jean Grey, Bahamadia, Rhapsody, and all female rappers, Eternia.
You just mentioned your top 5.
Right? Perhaps what I gained as a man from listening to women rap is, oh my God, it's not all about control. It's about also reconciliation, community. And women, because they've been at the end of a very masculine world, they've had to live a world where the emphasis is, how do I maintain relationships around me? While we've been busy trying to control everything, women have been busy trying to manage everything. Because in our sense of trying to control the whole world, we leave things unmanaged.
A perfect example. I need to interject. A perfect example is Goddess, social ills. How is it still relevant after how many years it's been released?
Yeah,
and it's by a woman group.
Exactly. Exactly. So while men have been busy trying to manage the world, control the world, women have been busy trying to manage the world.
And I want to step into that thing of men trying to control the world, because I want to get into this. Why do women make better rappers, right?
Yes.
And I think when I was sitting back and I was thinking about it, I think I came around with like 3 or 4 reasons why, right? And the first one was that Lendo Itetayo, but men want the control, power. And we have a culture in hip hop, in fact, particularly hip hop, speaking hip hop now,
right.
That says that only one female needs to shine at a time, right? And we've seen this happening throughout. We've seen this through, or if it's not Kim,
it's Foxy.
It's Foxy.
Right. It's not Latifah, it's Light.
Thank you. Right. If it's not Diamond, it's Trina. Right. If it's not Nicki Minaj, it's Kandi.
If it's not Roxanne Shante, it's Salt and Pepper.
Thank you. Right. So one has to exist. One has to be doper than the other, but they can't coexist.
Yeah, they always pitted against each other.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what does that? And it goes to my second point. My second point is that there is also a second culture in the hip hop industry to say that for us to find you as a woman ill or dope, you need to be co-signed by some group of niggas.
Yeah.
Right? And we go back there, we say that, why do we have that? And we're gonna go back because I wanna make a specific example of Kim and Roxy. The argument between Kim and Roxy, or the
so-called beef,
it had nothing to do with them. It was both their side wanting to claim that they have the best female rapper on their side.
Yeah.
And if you don't split your shit, and you are not doper than the other batch, as they call it in the hip hop terms, which is I'm against, you don't spit better than that, then you are the weakest one.
Yeah.
So now everyone has to show up, right? That's the second reason. The third reason is that as women, as you are saying, and even when we talk about this in debate, and I've debated all my life, there's always these topics that says that why men are better leaders than women. And the reasoning in those debates is always about how women are much more emotional.
Yeah.
So I like that in your reasoning you spoke about the emotions of women being able to lay themselves emotionally and show at different sides of writing. They can write about love, they can write about being cheated on, they can write about wanting a dick, they can write about having the sexiest body, they can write about being a wife, They can write about being a mother. They can write about being the dopest, whatever. The variety is a lot. It's plenty when it comes to women.
Vast.
Whereas in men, they've already set up this thing that I want power. Because, you know, if they are writing, as you say, that they are seeking for something or they want to acquire something for them to be seen as if they are in this specific level. But for women, it's not like that. For women, it's to say that I'm coming already in a space that is not, what you call this, in lack of a better word, I'm going to look at it, that is not conducive for me as a woman. So every time I step on that fucking stage, I have to spit it. Do you understand? I have to show them that I am all that in a fucking bag of chips. And more if I have to, which brings me to my fourth point, which is platform. Because women don't get much platform because of the reasons that I've mentioned. Because one has to give you a cosign to say that, ubani. And it happens even on DJing. DJ now, I'm seeing that it happens everywhere. It happens even in politics. When I was doing politics, I was the chairperson, I was running for the deputy chairperson of the region. I had to be co-signed by men in order for people to take me seriously, to say that I'm bringing something. And now it means that whenever I am given a platform, what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm going to twerk on your fucking asses and your faces, metaphorically, and show you what it is that I can do, because I hardly am given an opportunity to do that. And let's look at this. Even when we discuss legacies of women, we never discuss legacies of women and their history and their work when it comes to hip-hop without discussing who it is that they were comparing it to them. But when it comes to men, we can sit and discuss and say, but Tumi, I was here for the Tumi one. Right. We sat there and we discussed Tumi alone. We didn't compare Tumi to anyone. But if we were to sit here now and discuss legacy of Jean Grey or Rhapsody, we would have to compare her to someone. Because that is how the society is built like. So when I looked and I was like, listen here, if we were saying women are better rappers, why are women better rappers by men? Before we even start discussing, we say because they work 10 times as hard than you motherfuckers. Right. And that's it.
You speak to something really important.
Hey, I'm not a motherfucker.
I'm looking at you because you're in front of me, motherfucker.
But maybe we are motherfuckers.
Yeah, maybe we are.
In the very deepest sense, I've always liked the term motherfucker because no, I'm going into it. Fuck allegedly comes from this root term which means to cultivate.
Yes.
And mother, which is clear.
It's clear.
So maybe through patriarchy, maybe through undermining the value of women, what we are doing is we are digging deep into the feminine understanding. Maybe what we're doing is we're stabbing the feminine essence. So a motherfucker is somebody who either
the creator.
There's a positive motherfucker and there's a negative one. Because we say this. Sometimes you can say, I love that motherfucker. Sometimes you can say, you the motherfucker.
No, but right now we're talking about the negative one. All of you
the negative
rappers,
the negative motherfucker
don't give platform to women that don't want to recognize women as dope rappers and as an influence in the culture of hip hop. Those are the motherfuckers, and it ain't nothing negative.
And what that
ain't
means,
nothing positive, in fact.
And what that means is these are men who are literally penetrating at the source of their own femininity. Because being born through a woman, you have your own femininity. So next chapter in this conversation is talking about reconciling the feminine and the masculine in everybody. Because you might be a woman, but you have masculinity. And I might be a man, and I have femininity. Because there's sexuality and there's gender. We are born male and female, but we are made women and men. And womanness and manness is not something that's one-dimensional. A great man knows how to be feminine. A great woman knows how to be masculine. And I think one of the greatest misconceptions is that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And we don't see the balance.
That you're speaking into the feminine and the masculine balance, because nature naturally tells us that as a person there needs to be a balance. Do you understand? There needs to be the feminine and the masculine energy balancing. That's why we have what are the, I didn't do science, guys.
The yin and the yang of what?
Yes, but they say it also in terms of
the chromosomes.
The chromosomes.
Or the Y, X and Y.
Right. So those represent the feminine and the whatnot, and both males and females in terms of genetics we have them.
We're both, we're both.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that alone, whether it's science or nature or whatnot, should tell you that as a human being in general, whether you're a man or you're a female, you're supposed to have a balance. And whatever levels of Y and whatever levels of X you have, they are there to balance each other. That's why even when you're looking for a partner, you look for someone who's going to balance your masculinity, your feminine. You look for someone who's going to complement you. Right. You look for someone because you know that this is what I have. And that same thing, and that's what you are taking now, you are applying it here to say that there's a feminine, there's a masculine. Right. So now, why is it that, because I think another thing is that's making women not to be recognized. It's that part that men refuse to play into the balance of masculine and feminine. Men are mainly focusing on the masculine side.
It has a term, it's called hyper-masculinity.
Thank you. And that's how, what you call this thing that we're always speaking about in terms of the being politically correct, call it feminism, and when it refers to men. Controlling, taking over. I was mentioning this throughout, guys.
Patriarchy.
Thank you. Why are you guys sleeping? So that's why
we faded. We said it.
So that's why we speak of patriarchy. Patriarchy stems from people who refuse to recognize that both balances need to exist. Thinking. Exactly. And then we get patriarchy. Same as feminism stems from feminine thinking. Then we get feminism, but there needs to be a balance because both of us has to coexist, and that's what nature wants.
Right.
And it's the same thing now when we get into these disciplines of art disciplines, even in rapping. Now my problem is here that even let's come home, right? In fact, before we get home, let's look at. I even made a note here.
Okay.
I wanted to look at this to say that
let's go into
the fact that we always focus on if it's a woman or not. Let's look at 3 different tracks that I feel like even though they were featured, these women, they killed it there, and they killed those guys there.
Yeah.
Listen to Jean Grey on Humble Yet Hungry by Talib Kweli.
Oh my God.
Oh, what?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you are questioning why women are better rappers than men, go listen to that track.
This is for Beatrice Benjamin, who gave birth to...
Thank you. The flow, the wordplay there is on a different level. Talib Kweli did not exist. Talib Kweli is not my favorite rapper. Right? Not my favorite rapper. But Jean Grey killed that thing. And killed that thing for generations to come. When was that track released?
Oh my God.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Exactly. We look at Rhapsody on Complexion by Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh.
Addressing colorism. And we need to speak about this because it goes back to what you were saying about men only have a certain window to say that we are rapping or we are doing this because we want to obtain something. But women rap or they write things because they have certain things to address.
Yes.
That's what makes them better rappers.
Yeah.
Because they can easily engage with people. They can. I remember we were speaking about this to me to say that your market, are you able to engage it? Can you reach it?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Right.
And then we look at Nicki's verse on Monster.
Oh!
Ah, Baba.
Do you understand?
You know that he had to rewrite it. Kanye West told her
and even after rewriting, he still didn't do shit.
I'm a monster, I'm a bill gangster.
And that's when people started seeing Nicki as a star. Because in that verse, Nicki showed us the versatility of her voice, the voice that she could take on. Because that's when we recognize Nicki. We say, oh, fuck no. When she stepped in there and we were like, ooh, I'm not a trap fan, but I was like, ooh, bitch, she came through. And she did the thing.
She murdered Jay-Z.
Do you get it? And she
Yeah.
Do you know? So when I look at these things, I want us to look at such things to say that we actually have referencing not only Campbell, right? Not only Queen Zulu, not only MC Light. Do you understand? Not only Ulenda Khona Queen Latifah. Not only Rocks like Foxy Brown,
Roxanne Shante.
Not only do you understand what I'm saying? Not only Diamond, not only whoever, but these women, wherever they're given a platform, and a lot of women, when we get to recognize them, we recognize them on features. That's when we went on my 4th point of platform.
Oh.
They're not given a platform, but the only time that they get a platform is when
they outshine.
Feature, and then they don't have a choice. Okay. Because if you don't get there and spit, then you are whack.
Okay.
So you know that I have all these 10 men that are here. Remember Young Money? Nicki Minaj flourished through Young Money because she had 10 men that were 10, were they 10 or 12?
Doesn't matter how many there were, so many of them.
But she had to flourish
was a dick fest.
Thank you. She was the only female. That's why I have a problem with this thing of saying that why do we have this culture of saying that if it's not this one, it has to be this one. Like if you come to PE, let's look at Static Flow.
Yeah, Static Flow.
Let's leave that. I know that a lot of people in PE have a problem that she jumps on songs and not. Do you understand what I mean? There's a lot of that. So let's leave that shit. Let's look at her writing for once.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about rapping. We're talking about your lyricism. We're talking about your writing. We're talking about your delivery. Hands down, Static Flow kills all these motherfuckers in PE.
Yeah.
Hands fucking down.
Lot of male rappers.
Let's leave female. We're not talking females.
Yeah, I'm talking about male rappers.
We're talking about rapping.
Yeah, rapping.
And we're talking about PE.
Right.
Hands down.
She's one of the best lyricists.
Do you get what I'm saying?
She's one of
the best lyricists that we have. And when we're talking about killing, we're not talking about only you're writing. We're talking about your delivery. We're talking about your art form, the way that you package your art. We're talking about your performance. We're talking about do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole shebang of things. A song. You can go into the compilation Static Flow. There's trap, there's old school, there's boom bap, there's whatnot. But when she's standing there, she's performing, you don't get bored. Doesn't matter whether it's trap, whether you like whatnot. Because that forgive me for calling you a bitch, my bestie. She's a fucking bestie of mine. But she goes hard when she writes.
She's a bad bitch.
Nah, yeah, man.
Do you understand?
Gonna do it.
Please do it on my behalf.
I'm gonna call her.
She goes hard when she writes. And that's what we're talking about. We look at Nomsik.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Nomsik, when you speak of Spaza,
Yeah.
you can go from Joburg to Cape Town. I don't care who says what, and they can come and challenge me. When you speak of Spaza rap, and you speak of delivery, and you speak of
I don't know though, you got Kanye, but yeah, go on.
I'm telling you, we're talking about Nomsik here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nomsik is that. You see the problem with Kanye? Kanye had a potential, you see during the 3 months cup, Kanye had a potential to open doors for a lot of female rappers, particularly in that genre of Spaza. But she missed it. Why? Because of this thing that I was talking about, that you need to get it from men.
A pat on the
So
back from
she Kanye's dope now. Kanye, you're my crush, by the way. If I'm ever to be a lesbian,
is the one of the dopest rappers in the country.
In the world. What are you talking about? I'm a fan, but I'm saying this to say that the reason why I'm putting Nomsik there.
Yeah, if you don't have Hugh and Black Rock on your Orlando list also.
but what I'm saying here is that when it comes to stepping in front of men, Nomsik has been surrounded by men. Nomsik is the only girl on 5 brothers.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And she does not allow them to swallow her. She does not cut herself small. When she walks in there, and she's like, yes, I'm here. You see? So what I feel like Kanye did from when she was beginning, and she's trying to do that now to actually create a thing of her own. I mean, I follow her even on Instagram. But what she missed there, that by now we would be actually saying now, God.
Yeah.
Do you understand? She actually played it small around those niggas. And that was the problem. And it's not her.
Kanye, if you listen to this,
it's not her.
holler at us on the comments.
It's the culture. The culture led her to that, to say that I need to play it small when I'm playing around 7 niggas that are known to, because you know Dreamers Cup was our wake up bread and butter. Well, I don't think they're so dope now, because now I'm grown and now I understand hip hop better, but you niggas are dope too. But Kanye is fucking dope. No, but we're speaking women here. And if I'm not going to sit here and speak for women, then I shouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
So anyone who's catching feelings, I don't know. We can deal with that after the shoot.
Pew, pew, pew.
You know? And I want us to get back again. Let's look at Nadia Nakai. Not one of my favorite rappers.
Right.
Let's look at Nadia Nakai. And also, I think another thing that we need to speak about, we're going to get to it, it's ghostwriting. Because I think that's another thing that makes women to not be taken seriously and not be given their flowers. And when we speak about these things, that's called weighty behind there. Oh my God. But look at Nadia Nakai on that song, Casper, that featured the remix, that featured all of the more Ricky Rick. Because I think that's when I gave Ricky Rick his flowers on that song also. I'm like, oh, okay, Ricky Rick, the way he came in, I was like, yes. Yeah. But how Nadia Nakai came in, she literally was given the shortest time out of all those niggas there.
Right.
But whether she was written for or whatever it is, but the opportunity that she was given, that was literally like 30 seconds in that song. Casper, I don't know why you gave her 30 seconds. But she came through.
Maybe that's how long he lasts. Anyway.
He tried to get me in trouble.
Go on.
But what I'm saying is we look at MBZ, right?
Yeah.
MBZ has found it. I think MBZ, Nigga.
He needs to get his flowers.
I don't bow down to any nigga, but I'm bowing down to you right here. Because what he did with Ladies Night...
Ladies Night,
I think
yeah.
it's on,
volume
I think it's
1.
on volume 11 now, if not
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
I know it's an odd number. And I've been following it from the beginning. You see what MBZ did? What MBZ did says, you know what? I'm a producer. I've been seeing this woman like assessor. Do you, like guys, we can't speak like even in South Africa.
Yeah.
We have dope. They
Yeah,
call it,
rude.
I will never call you a fancy. I refuse, guys.
Sis.
Yeah.
We have dope rappers who are women.
If they are
in
femces,
South
there must
Africa.
be menses.
Yes, thank you so much. Counter, inner eta, yin yang, black and white. Yes, my life, my death, everything there. Center,
Melsis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mensi.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound nice. Like
No, yeah,
Exactly, no man.
Yeah.
Excited with the punchline. But what I'm saying is, look at what MBZ is
Did,
doing,
yeah.
right? MBZ did this and said, you know what? There's some dope rappers who are women, who are better than, you know, the
underappreciated.
and they are underappreciated. So I'm going to give a platform, and that's what he did Ladies Night. So I was saying MBZ, right? Let's give him his props because the nigga was able to recognize that MCs who are women, right, rappers who are women are dope, and they're not given a platform, and he's been consistent with it for over 9 to 11 years now. I don't know if it's in take 11, 9. Just need to double check that. And he always bring forth like dope, like a lot of South African, you know, women rappers I've seen through MBZ that are hidden gems that you're like, yo, you know, because I remember when I heard Assess, I was like, what? Who is that?
So it's like rapper
Exactly. And I think we can't have, because I remember when I was sharing this topic with someone, a friend of mine, was like, oh, I'm going to go to the headspace and this is the topic. His response was, I said, why do women make better representation? His response was, are they? You know,
yeah.
Whoa. And I'm like, that's fucking disrespectful, you know? So hence I was like, when we started, I said to you, okay, let's stop with the direction you are going. I think we need to first educate our people to say that, listen, just because they're not exposed because of these 4 points that I mentioned now, to say that there's this, you know, like structural disadvantages that exist within society for women in general, which are more prolonged by patriarchy, right? That don't allow women to be able to flourish. It doesn't matter what sphere they are in. It doesn't mean that they don't exist, right? And we can count a couple of women that we could put, if we count top 5, and if you do your research, and if you go and actually listen to hip hop, because I think that's another thing. We have a lot of people that don't invest in hip hop, and I think that's why everyone keeps on screaming the hip hop culture is crying, is dying. Sorry.
Women beat makers, women graphic artists,
there's a lot of
women
my
b-boys.
graphic designer is a woman.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we did remember Nostalgic Flow, the first installment here, Women in Hip Hop. It was Miss J as the resident DJ, I was the resident host, Nostalgic Flow, and we got Alu. So we are here in all these spheres and in all these aspects, and we invest in the skill. And we need to speak about this also when we speak about women and men. We don't like there's always this thing that when someone's skill is being observed, or is being, there's a word, is being interrogated.
Yeah.
Then the gender politics come forth.
Come here.
Do you understand? Let's pick. Let's run into DJ. The most popular thing that's happening in South Africa now is DJ Waffles.
Yeah, DJ
right?
Waffles. Yeah.
We speak about it, and I've had questions asked to me about you are a female DJ. What do you think about Waffles? Like me, I'm not mad at her as a woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because she understood what it is that works for her, and she used it to sell it. And that's what the society is at. That's what the market is. That's what it says, sex sell. So if I have it, why not use it to gain momentum? But now if we're going to speak about the skill of DJing as a DJ, then I have more to say. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we need to divert away from the issue
politics
of discussing gender politics whenever we have to speak about someone's skill. Right. And I think that's the first point that we need to start at, in order for us to be in a space where we start recognizing people for the skill that they actually bring forward, other than having to compare them to say they are riding with the west side, they are riding with the east side, they are riding with Umutswako, they are writing with
Spaza, or
they are writing
rap.
with boom bap, they are writing with
Trap.
truth music, they are writing with trap. So the guys that are popular with trap is Blakey and whoever they are. And then if you wanna do trap, you need to be riding along on the wave of Blakey and be attached to them and
okay, yeah.
If you are doing boom bap, you need to you need to attach yourself to Oznik or certain names for you to actually be taken seriously. If you are riding with piano or whatever it is, you need to attach yourself with Ukabza the small and Mapolisa for you to be taken seriously as a woman. If you are riding to Ispaza, you need to run to Itrimanska for you to be taken seriously. Do you understand? As a woman, we need to step away from that. And that is what is making people exactly. That is what is making people to, and even without doing you, just us also as consumers of hip hop.
Okay.
Do you understand? We shouldn't be like, why is it that when it comes to female, when we have discussions about discussing a skill set, I mentioned this about legacies, about their music, about their skill set, about what they've brought forward. When it comes to women, a lot of people now started paying attention to Rhapsody on this Eve album. Rhapsody has been releasing things for years, and she's been dope, and she's been consistent. She's a goat, in fact.
Right.
Do you understand? But no one knows who she is, because we can't discuss her unless we are discussing her dragging along with or Black Thought, unless we are discussing.
I feel you.
Do you feel me?
I feel you. I think the fundamental thing is when we are hyper, when we are hyper masculine or hyper feminine, what we do is we dismiss the qualities of appreciating the feminine or the masculine. One thing that stands out about hypermasculinity is that it turns women into children. And a child is somebody who needs your assistance.
Exactly.
A child is somebody who you need to raise. They are not your equal. So that's why even in our language, we call a lot of women guana, papa, baby, cherry. We turn women into our kids because a lot of male language is actually, a woman is not my equal. Her brain, her capacity, her talent, her abilities are not the same as mine. She is diminutive. So I think one of the things that will, and this is important because for the people watching the channel out there, if we are to take away the hyper from the masculinity and the hyper from the femininity, it's about seeing each other in the same wavelength. Seeing that femininity brings to me things that are enriching, and masculinity brings to me things that are enriching.
And the balance, sorry to interject you, because you said something about men coming to get things, and that comes with them being, because the society says that men need to be providers, to be caregivers. Do you understand what I'm saying? And women need to be the warm bearers of the house. They need to build the home, and they need to, do you understand? And that comes with that, as what you were mentioning now, that women, we see them as kids, we see them because of that control, because the society says men are the providers. So that goes across the sphere. It's the same as when someone is taking on a woman rapper. They're taking on to them to say that, okay, I'll provide this for you. Look at, and that's when the ghost writing comes into. For example, people were saying Lil Kim is being ghost writed by Biggie. Biggie passed on, but Lil Kim still exists. How is she? Do you get what I'm saying?
And what's funny also, biologically, it's funny though that men see women as children, but biologically women mature faster than men.
You are the kids, and if you go through my socials, I always say them like, you guys are stupid children. That's what you're entertaining. And I think also maybe women also need to take it like that. Don't go into, because we already know how I think maybe we need to be truthful about what the space is for women first. And when we're actually truthful about it and we have such conversations about it, then maybe women also will go into such spaces with the open mind to say that I'm already expecting the space to be like this. So now I am coming in as Liya M to come and say, if I'm going to spit those bars, I'm going to do it in my own way, whatever it is. And if you want to accept or you're not going to accept, that's your baby. But I don't need to suck up your dick. Because then it comes, we're like backing to that thing of saying that if now someone is backing me up, even if I'm not sleeping with them because I'm sucking up to whatever it is, they're going to come across and say, but
he's sleeping with him.
Ulala no. I saw a post on Facebook. Some lady was complaining about the event organizers, how they don't take the artists serious. A guy, a nigga, whatever his name is.
You throwing out names.
That name, I ain't scared of all of you niggas, you know this. So that nigga commented there and said, That's why they and then they sleep with each other, and then you will see these ladies all over the posters and
Yeah, because they slept with women.
If you see women in a poster,
that means he slept with
the guy who's organizing the thing.
Yeah.
So now, as an event curator, because that's what I make most of my money from, curating events. Now, if you see niggas on my posters,
that's probably you slept with them.
With me. And now they're never gonna say that, because men are automatically categorized as what as
providers.
Provider. So they're not gonna say men slept with me to get a platform, but women slept with the men to get a platform.
Right.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm going at? I don't think fuck off. But I don't think that the discussion, I don't even think that we need to discuss this. Based on everything that we said, women are better rappers because they work 10 times as hard than niggas.
Yeah.
Because firstly, the environment is not conducive for them. Firstly, whenever they're not given a platform all the time. So when they're given a platform, they have to spit because they don't have a choice.
Right.
Thirdly, they always compete to each other. Fourthly, there's a culture that says that if you are not, if it's not you, it has to be this person. So you have to be better than this person. Number 5, there's a culture also that says that you need to be backed up. Someone needs to back you up. A male person needs to back you up for you to be flourishing. So women are better rappers because whenever they only given a chance once in a while, and when you are given a chance, it doesn't matter whether you are a rapper, you are a DJ, you're always gonna bring your A game. Right? Because you know that people need to notice and they need to recognize you. And that is not the discussion today. They are better rappers. Whoever has a problem, find me. Liya M _SA, and then let's talk about it.
Right.
Because I am scared of you.
That's what it is. I'd like to say women are better rappers because they expose us to a side of life that is constantly undermined. And if you're a person who understands what it's like to be trampled on, a feminine rapper will always give you the insight of what is going on in the human experience. Women make better rappers because a lot of the times they are the ones who are around the nurturing element. So a lot of MCs who help us understand what it's like to take care and grow and develop something come from that feminine space. So skillfully, women make better rappers because their perspective is not cluttered by the pursuit of control.
Yeah, it's that of reality.
And if we are to really listen to any rapper who happens to be a woman, they have this clarity of speech and style where they are not interfered by this kind of control.
Can I drop a song before you go?
To conclude,
can I drop a song before you goes? Go and listen to Rhapsody. The song that the one that he sampled
with Kendrick.
Tupac. No, the one that he sampled Tupac in on this Eve album, the last track. That he speaks about women like being the birth, they gave birth to you. This is not
Afeni.
Go and listen to that, and then you realize how women are able to distinguish and give you a clear view of what it is that's happening. She's speaking about gender-based violence. She's speaking about men wanting to be in control. She's speaking about men wanting to take control, and she's saying, "We love you. You're our brothers. This is not what is meant for you." And no man will actually get to be that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Emotional and give it to people.
Alright, rap is not about control. Rap is about self-expression, and therefore nobody is trying to be top of the food chain. We're all trying to express our humanity. Liya M, thank you for the balance.
Thank you
for the and holla at us at the comment section. This is the kind of conversation that can never be finished in one episode. This is merely a footnote on what is an ongoing conversation. Please subscribe, especially the women. The women must subscribe right now.
I'm here to speak for you.
My name is BJ.
Liya M.
It's been the Headspace. Siyabulela. Holla at us at the comment section. If the men are angry, if the women are angry, if anybody has something to say,
come to me. If the women are angry, come to him, please.
No,
men,
don't come to me. All of them, come to her. Headspace, what up?
Bye.